Welcome, guys.
Hey.
I'm,
Oh, there you are.
Yeah,
Go.
over here.
Stage left. We'll say.
Wow. So congratulations on an amazing third album which just came out. Here Come the Ruts.
Thank you for saying so.
Can you explain the title?
Well, it's up for interpretation, of course, as usual. But oftentimes, the runt of the litter ends up being the most special, and achieves the most in a lot of ways. And it could be as literal as a litter of dogs, of course, or puppies, all the way to, a metaphor for life and the different obstacles. And, many people told me that I wouldn't ever make anything of my life, certainly artistically or musically. And I think all of us on stage had probably been shot down at some point, and so it's the underdog story, I guess, in a lot of ways.
It makes sense. I like
Yeah.
it. More guitars on this record.
Yeah.
More guitars.
Well, I mean, with Zach Irons on guitar, you got to add
I'm
more
I'm
guitar.
telling you. I'm a big fan. More guitars, less synths.
Yeah.
Did you think of that going into it? Was that in the thought process building this thing?
Yeah, I've gotten a little bored with that sound in a lot of ways, and I wanted to go back to a lot of the music that got me inspired to be in music and to write songs to begin with, and not everybody could do it too. So I thought it would be a nice thing to do to stand out.
And it kind of does now when you listen to the landscape of radio right now. There really aren't that many rock songs.
Yeah,
anymore.
some of it sounds like Savage Garden.
Some of it,
I don't understand.
does. So what were some of those influences? Because when I'm listening, like Tall Tall Tale, I get a Zeppelin vibe.
Sure, yeah.
And then Handyman has little classic singer-songwriter vibe to it. What were the influences here?
I think it's always just a combination of all the music I've loved growing up. But sometimes you have an idea, and then of course it ends up being nothing like that. But I kind of wanted to make an album that felt fun and uplifting, like a lot of the '80s rock albums that were massive pop albums. Actually, just because they were popular, not because they had what is considered a pop sound, right? As
right.
you know. But from the Cars, Tom Petty, Bruce Springsteen, Born in the USA, and it was just a good time for rock and roll music. And Dire Straits.
Top 40 really actually meant
kind of.
The most popular 40 songs, whether it was rock or dance or whatever it was.
But all the while still loving hip hop and metal, of course, and punk rock and hardcore music. So that's always going to be there. But
right.
And I knew I had the band to do so finally. Where the first two records I played most of the instrumentation myself, and I'm limited at best. When it comes
Did
to
you
guitar.
record together in a room, or did you like?
Sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes we would record together, but mostly, I would lay out the blueprint of the song, and then, whether it was Zach on guitar or Isaac on drums, then we would just get really analytical, and I would just, kind of push them as far as they could go.
Is the sequencing of the album important to you when you
Yeah.
put this together? Because it always has been in my world, and I can hear that in this record, that things flow together and the various sounds work. It just takes you on a journey it's 14 songs on the record, so from point A to point B, it's a journey.
A lot of the time, the sequence is just survival mode, too, to figure out how to make it not seem too insane, because I know I go all over the place, of course. I almost said blame it on my ADD, but it's so you just have to make it flow one way or another, right? And those are the records I like a lot growing up. The ones that feel like you're watching a movie or reading a great book. And this record has a lot of different stories and subplots and everything. There's a couple characters that keep showing up, and it's the survival story of this character, the Runt, or the Runts as a group.
It's one of those records I can tell that I'm going to keep going back to, and I'm going to get more out of it every time I listen to it. It's got a depth to it.
You're saying all the right stuff. Thank you.
No, but it's true. Passion is the first single, and you put out this incredible video for it with OG. Have you guys seen the video for this? What's the story with OG, and how'd you find him?
He's just this incredible inspiration. Obviously, he doesn't have the use of his legs, and I'm sure most of us take that for granted. I know I do. You don't even think of that, right? And he figured out a way to use his passion of skating to get by. and not only to travel from point A to point B, but actually do bitchin' tricks. And
Amazing.
Yeah,
When
so
he's
I
in the
thought
pool, it's like, oh, this is great.
and the best part about that video is I didn't have to be in it. So see, deep story with minimal work on my end.
But then on the other hand, 7 Sticks of
Yeah.
Dynamite, you are in. And you also got Rick Rubin, Duff McKagan to be in it. How did you rope those guys in?
They love AWOLNATION, and I asked them to do
That's
a
the right
favor,
answer?
You know? It's just, and I have a weird relationship with Rick. I play him all the songs when they're done, and I get his blessing, get his thoughts, and it's always interesting to hear what he has to say. I want him to love every song more than anything he's ever heard, but it's usually not like that, obviously. But,
Right.
Funny enough, Handyman was the song that stood out to him the most.
Did it?
Yeah.
He makes the perfect desert bar bartender.
He's only there for a second, too.
But it's awesome.
I didn't know if he was going to show up day of, obviously, and he just showed up, so we cut everything to do that.
For the guy who is as zen as he is, for him to be that role was awesome.